Okay, interview Winston Irvine. Winston, tell me first, just give me a very brief précis of what this is all about.
Well, essentially, this is about citizens of the United Kingdom being prevented from exercising their legitimate right to express their culture, heritage, and political identity. This is, in effect, a violation of a fundamental human right and an attack on British democracy, and that is why people have stood here for over 500 days now to campaign to see their human rights restored and to see justice being done for the Laganese brethren.
The Prime Minister's coming here tomorrow to try and bring some conclusion to these ongoing talks. What does he need to do to persuade you that there's a solution in sight? What would you settle for?
Well, he needs to recognise that there is a large section of the Unionist community who are totally marginalised, who are excluded from any participation in these talks. There is an attempt to do a backdoor deal, and I think the Unionist community have seen for too many times now to be taken for granted, and I think what we will see over the course of the next couple of days is an attempt to cobble together a Rouse deal in order to keep storming on its tracks, and I think the real issues affecting the people on the street will be avoided and will be kicked further into the long grass.
So what are the long-term implications of that?
Well, the Democratic Unionist Party and the Ulster Unionist Party have excluded large sections of their own community from participating in any discussions. There has been no consultation with this community. There has been no engagement. The people in these communities, the people involved in this protest have been ignored, and their voices are not being reflected or represented within these discussions, and I think that will come to harm the people involved in trying to do a deal over the heads of the people in the Unionist community. Make no mistake about it, there'll be no lasting deal unless it has the support of the Unionist community as a whole, and I can tell you now that our Unionist politicians who are involved in the discussions have lost the trust of this community, they've lost the confidence of the Orange Brethren, and I can't see any way in which we will see a deal around trading without the consent and without the agreement and support of the broad Unionist community, and up to now there has been no engagement and no participation whatsoever.
But for those watching this who kind of get the message that most of the people here are desperate to move forward, it's this kind of thing that's holding it back?
Well, people don't want to be here a single second longer than what's necessary, but at the same time they are not for walking away from what is a absolute fundamental attack on British democracy. These are citizens within the United Kingdom who are being denied the right to legitimately express their culture and tradition in a peaceful and lawful way. And unfortunately, we have seen the Trades Commission capitulate to the threat of Republican violence, and I think people have had enough, and they will stay here and they will campaign for as long as it takes until they see their rights restored and they see some sort of justice being done for the Orange tradition.
Is this worth putting Northern Ireland's political future on the line for?
You can't put a price on a fundamental basic human right. You can't put a price on the bedrock of democracy. The right to freedom of expression, the right to freedom of association is the cornerstone of British democracy, and we cannot put any price on that. People fought and died over many centuries and in 2 world wars to ensure that we enjoy the rights that we have today, and we need to see this in the proper context. The threat of Republican violence is the reason why people are sat here and haven't been withdrew from the right to be able to exercise their democratic rights, and that's the reason why we're here. The same people launched an RPG rocket attack on the police and the wider community 3 weeks ago. They're the same people who are denying people their rights to express in a legitimate fashion their culture and identity. Until people stand up and trump the threat of violence, people will remain here.
Do the people from your community feel they're being sold out by their own representatives in this?
Well, they feel that they've been excluded, they feel that they've been marginalised, and they feel that they have been treated very unfairly. But make no mistake about it, the Unionist community are no fools. They have seen through the lies, they have seen through the deceit, and they will not lie down and allow anyone to do a deed over their heads. They need to be making sure that there is inclusion. Prime Minister Cameron needs to realise that these talks that have been proceeded over by the Secretary of State are an exclusionary form of dialogue. If it was right in 1994 for all party talks, if it was right in 1998 for all party talks, then it's right in 2014 for all party talks. There is no inclusion in these talks, and that is why large sections of the Unionist community feel disenfranchised. That's why they feel that they're being marginalised. And the ironic thing is that the community here are being marginalised and being excluded from discussion, not by Republicans, not by the Irish government or the British government. They're being excluded by Unionist politicians within the DUP and within the Ulster Unionist Party, and that's a serious issue for those parties, and they don't need to address that.
It doesn't sound to me like you can see any way that these talks are going to deliver anything that's going to last.
These talks will not deliver anything without the support of the Unionist community. These talks will not deliver anything without the support of the Lawyers community. These talks are exclusionary. They've excluded a large section of the Unionist community, and you can't expect a community who have had no input, who have had no involvement, no participation in political talks, to simply do the heavy lifting around a potential deal that they have had no ownership of and no responsibility for. So I think it's madness to expect the Unionist community to simply roll over and to implement whatever cobbled agreement that they can reach when they have not been involved.
You don't sound like a man who's expecting any kind of progress anytime soon.
Well, like I said, we want to see political stability, we want to see a strong economy, we want to see the rebalancing of the private and public sector in Northern Ireland. We want to see people resolving issues around trades. We want to see issues resolved around flags and symbols. We want to see a true way to deal with the past. But you can't simply paper over the cracks. You can't simply do a deal around the fiscal issues. You can't simply do a deal around finances and the budget and welfare reform and then kick the issues that have been bedeviling the process in Northern Ireland from 1998 further down the road and then think that that's going to be a lasting agreement.
For those who see a situation like this and say, do you really want to do a deal over something like this? You're out here every night protesting for your right. Do you really want to do a deal?
Like I've already said, of course, people want to see a sensible solution. They want to see their human rights respected. They want to see their civil and religious freedoms restored, and they want to see good neighbourliness in this area. They don't want to be standing here a single minute longer than what they have to. But like I said already, you can't put a price on the fundamental right of independent liberal democracy.
I'm going to have to either in this.